How's it going, guys? My name is Stephen Hoy. I'm with Chopzinvestments. Today's going to be the first day of my Maryland series where I'm going to take Maryland cities, break them down in neighborhoods, and then talk about strategies that could or could not work in those neighborhoods. I'm starting off with Hagerstown, which is where I'm located right now. And it was super fun driving around all these neighborhoods, looking at houses, doing my due diligence. I always enjoy it. That's what I'm here for. That's why I do this. So, yeah, let's get into what I found and let's talk about it.
Okay, so the first neighborhood we're going to look at is Mountetna in Hagerstown, Maryland. This was a joy to drive around. I found most of the house prices were from $300 to $800,000 per house, which is on the higher end. There's quite a few more that exceed that limit, but I cut them out just for the equation to lower the average a little bit because those were a little bit rare. It is outside the city, so it's away from the hustle and bustle. It's a quiet little mountainous town. I would definitely recommend driving for dollars here because the stock is not high. I've done a little bit of due diligence and I've noticed that it's usually around 5 or 6 properties for sale at any given time. In the past and for the foreseeable future, it could change, but that's what I've noticed. So the stock is really low. So for dollars is probably your best strategy because if you can go there and you can find a house in disrepair that needs a little bit of work, it's going to be a good way to wedge yourself in that neighborhood, and that's a good neighborhood to wedge yourself inside. And of course, you'd be helping out the community, you'd be helping out, fixing up the house, making a decent profit for yourself at the same time. I would recommend flipping if you get the chance, and it's possible vacation play. It was a very pretty place. I would not be mad vacationing there. It's beautiful views. There's a nice park there, a big old park. The buy and hold, though, did not work out for me. I ran a few houses. The ROI would be a little too low. The return on investment would be low. A lot of them were cash flow negative when all was said and done. So buy and hold would be kind of a tricky strategy there. You could still make money off it, obviously, but it would be a little more tough. You need to go in with a game plan, execute the game plan, not stray, or else there's a chance you could lose a lot of money. But with risk comes reward. There's a chance you can have a ton of money cash flowing for the rest of your life. Who knows? I would definitely owner occupy this spot, but that's just because I liked it so much. So I mean, I could probably end up losing money if I owner occupied, but it was really pretty. But I would personally not invest here because I am buy and hold. But if you have a team you like fix and flips, definitely check out. Not and if you can get in there because the stock is low, then this is a great place to make extraordinary amount of money. So keep that in mind. Obviously, do your own due diligence, and let's move to the next one. Okay, so this next neighborhood I'm going to be talking about is called Robinwood in Hagerstown, Maryland. Robinwood, the houses on average, I was getting around $200,000 to $600,000 per house. The stock is high, which is wonderful. With a higher stock, there's a lot more sellers, which means there's a lot more flexible sellers, which means there's a chance you can make some really good money here. The deals that you can put together here are astounding, especially if you like to drive for dollars. If you could find a house in disrepair and try and work your magic in this neighborhood, just leveraging that with the high amount of sellers, there's a chance you can make a lot of money. But definitely it'd be dumb not to drive for dollars in this neighborhood. It's very walkable, very drivable, very bikeable. It's very close to restaurants, supermarkets, other amenities. There's really, in my research, my DD, there's no reason there should be this much stock and for these prices. I feel like this is a really good neighborhood to move into. So owner occupied, absolutely. Buy and hold, yes. Fix and flip, definitely. Vacation, no. That's probably the only strategy that I would say won't really work here because it is kind of like a busier inner city suburb, which is not somewhere I want to vacation, but I don't know. I wouldn't take the chance. So definitely not. But every other strategy I can think of it's going to pay off if you do it right. Obviously, if you do it right, it's going to pay off. Like, it's a beautiful neighborhood, and I just had a blast driving around it. That might be where I go next. Who knows? After I finish this thing up. On to the next. Now we're going to be talking about a neighborhood that's a little more taboo, a little more strategically difficult. It's the corner of West Washington, North Prospect Street in Hagerstown, Maryland. Um, big inner city vibes. The crime rate is a little high. There's a really high vacancy going on right now, so buy and hold is going to be super tough unless you find a tenant and then it'll pay off. There are a lot of multifamilies for sale, a lot of stock for multifamily houses, which you can stand to make a decent amount of money. But the amount of strategies you can use there, like vacation, is off the table. Owner occupied, personally, I wouldn't do it, so that's off the table. Fix and flip, definitely. There, when I was driving $4 there, which you should definitely do, there were some houses in need of repair. So contact the owner, see how much they're willing to part with it for, fixing it up to roundabout where it should be, which given isn't much because the average house is around 200,000 to 400,000. 200 to 400,000, usually lower on the 400, can go down to like 50 to 60,000. So if you do it right and you use your strategy correctly as far as driving for dollars and wanting to fix and flip, you can definitely make a profit here. Buy and hold can as well. If you get over the vacancy problem, if you get it to a tenant who wants to live there, which is they're having a tough time with it, like I said right now. So I would say the only thing that will work in this kind of neighborhood is more of a fix and flip, bringing up property value, just making the houses habitable. The ROI for most of it, as far as buy and holds, does not work. It doesn't work. I would say it's almost a death sentence for buy and hold investors, unless you can do it right. Obviously, like I said, if you have a strategy and you know how to use it, but you're gonna have to be very precise with any other strategy but fix and flips. But yeah, that's what I have to say about North Prospect. But yeah, so that's one that I would definitely avoid. But that's not to say that it won't come up in the future. And with all those multifamily houses, if the neighborhood does increase, if it starts like booming a little bit more, those houses are gonna be worth a lot more. So buy low, sell high, like with any kind of investments. But yeah, it's very risky if you're risk adverse like me, off the table. But everyone's different. Take that as you will. D on DD. So this last neighborhood I'm going to be talking about is the Dual Highway North Cannon neighborhood, which is my personal slice of heaven. This is where I do my investing for right now. I'm surrounded by multifamily houses, duplexes, triplexes, there's some quads. It is a very lucrative neighborhood. It doesn't cost a lot. Most I found between $50,000 to $300,000 houses on average, which is wonderful. There is a lot of there are a lot of houses that need to be fixed up around here. So if you're fix and flip, it's going to be perfect here. If you're buy and hold, it's fantastic here, which is what I'm doing. House hacking. So I live here. I rent out the other side. Their rent covers the mortgage while I do maintenance and fixes up myself, which is going to save money in the long term and the short term. So there's really not a strategy that won't work here for you, except for vacation. I wouldn't vacation here, but definitely I would live here. Of course, I don't occupy this place. If you're going to be doing an FHA loan, you will need to have all your ducks in a row because you're going to be dealing with the government. The FHA is going to have to sign off on it, give you the okay, and that's going to be a headache. But you get a neighborhood like this, it's really hard to screw things up, to lack of a better phrase. Yeah, super high in multifamily. The stock, it fluctuates. Usually there's a decent amount, but like I said, driving for dollars, there's a ton of houses around here that need maintenance, that are going for super low. I think the house right next to me, I did a CMA on, and it was around like 30K is what they paid for it. It's definitely worth a lot more now. But yeah, that's just the kind of deals. Like it fluctuates so hard that there's so many ways to make money to set deals, and the neighbors have been great. The neighborhood's wonderful. There's a park very close. It's just outside the inner city, so you get the inner city prices without the inner city hassle, which is fantastic, and it's worked out so well for me. So yeah, check out Dual Highway North Cannon area. Usually straight down Dual Highway is fantastic. Muesli Avenue is fantastic. But yeah, after everything's said and done, this is a great spot to be, a great place to start investing if you're a little worried about price point, because it doesn't cost a lot to get in, and you learn so much while you're here. going through it. And yeah, that's all I have to say about my little neighborhood here. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching the video all the way through. If you didn't watch all the way through, thanks for coming by. It was good seeing you. Please like, subscribe to my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Send me a message whenever. We'll talk about whatever. It doesn't matter to me. This was a super, super fun project so far. And I think next week I might move to Frederick, which is going to be also super fun because I love driving around Frederick, walk around Frederick. Might do a live video there. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? But yeah, just keep in mind that financial freedom is absolutely an option for everyone as long as you have the work ethic. I still work 40, 50, sometimes 80 hours a week trying to, fund this habit of mine, this passion project I've got going on. And eventually it will pay off. Eventually it will pay off, especially when I move out of this to my next one. Then I just start scaling back on the things that I make money from that I don't like to do to things that I make money from that I like to do, which, what's better than that? What's better than that? Honestly. It's fantastic. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'm going to cut on out of here. Financial independence is definitely something we should all be shooting for every day. It should be something we think about almost 24/7, and it is going to be achievable for literally anyone who tries, as long as you have that what, why, the wherewithal, and as long as you have that secret ingredient, that little secret ingredient we like to call the chops. That's all you need, man.